Okay, so to do the V6 to V8 swap, I made sure to read the V6 tune out. The reason I did that is the V6 truck has fuel system. It has it's a long bed, so it has a bigger gas tank, and the short bed. Most of the tunes I pulled are all 26-gallon tunes, so I had to copy that over. Also, to show you, let's see, compare. So, nice thing about this laptop, and it's not just HP tuners. There we go. Every time I mess with the menu, it screws up the graphics. And I've gone through and updated everything and keep everything updated. But anyways, so if you see me having to minimize and you understand why. So I've seen this in the past. For whatever reason, the V6 and V8 gas gauge, they'll be inverted. So this is the V6 one. This is the V8 one. Notice that the 26 gallons is at the bottom, and then on the V6 it's 0. And then what will happen is if you just flash a V8 tune in, your gas gauge will read backwards. So that's one of the things I've caught after doing this multiple times. Let's see. Close. Then, so as you can see, the green, when I use the compare feature, it's showing me the places I've changed. And this is only changed because it has the bigger gas tank. The engine, the harness I had didn't have the wiring for the fans, but I took it out of the V6 harness and added it. Now that you have a different VIN, you got to turn the VATs off. If you try to put which I did, but if you try to put the original VIN back in after you get done fixing everything so it matches the VIN on the cow, HP Tuners freaks out and says, VIN doesn't match OS. Please call. Anyways, since this truck was drive-by cable, the swap was actually drive-by-wire in 02, but the different throttle body gears don't match. And if I wanted it to be perfect, I would just need a drive-by cable 02 cable and drive-by cable 02 cruise box that has and then the correct bracket. I live an hour from the pull your part, and when I get out there, normally all that stuff's gone. But if I had that stuff, I would have loved it. So see here, GMT 800, ETC, electronic throttle control, 0. That means drive-by cable. That says 1, that's drive-by-wire. And then some of the PCMs, you have to make sure they have the IAC driver chip, or it won't work. Let's see if I can. Oh, this is a stock one, but yeah, stock 05 V8 has drive-by wire. So, what else? Fans. I turned the fans on. I'm trying to think. Oh, the stock V8 tune I pulled didn't have the fans, but this was a V6 and it had the electric fans. So these are the settings I normally use. Of course, it's doing the won't scroll BS. There we go. If you don't have the settings, just download a fan tune, or you can copy from my screen. Usually it's easier just to copy from a fan tune. Let's see. The truck that came out of had 373s. This truck has 342s. But then he had me put, damn, it's raining good outside. He had me put 2018 Silverado wheels on it, and they have a 275 65/18 tire, so they're taller. So it's actually got even less gear. But the biggest thing, at least on HP tuners, you just enter the tire size, gear ratio, and hit commit, and it's auto scale yes. You want that because you want your transmission to shift correctly with the correct gear and tire size. I don't know how many people I see let me put these 4 or 5 inch taller tires on this truck, and they never get the trans tune to match. So the speedometer doesn't work correctly, the trans isn't shifting correctly, and it burns up the tranny. So you really want to do that. I also fix the speed crap because I hate going to pass somebody and then, I'm bouncing off the limiter. Those are important things to fix. Let's see, system, fuel. I don't normally mess. See, all these sables got changed. It's just showing you the difference. Only thing I normally mess with is this. I just shorten it up. I want a firmer shift. I don't like it slipping. So, why is this down here like this? This laptop is very small. Move it, and I can't close it. Anyways. So you use the V8 tune, and that's another thing too. You want to find a good V8 tune for the year you're doing. You want to use the V8 tune. You do not want to try to change the V6 tune to V8. It will not work. I have done it more than once. Another thing is, see the TAC resolution thing? Make sure on the scanner and HP tuners what's coming out of the PCM matches on the cluster. I've had to change the 6 to an 8 to get the TAC to match. Let's see. Why is this? Oh, I see. There it is. Also, if you're return or returnless fuel, this is your injector data for returnless system. Notice how the injector flow rate changes depending on the fuel pressure. The regulator is in the tank in the fuel pump module, so there's no vacuum reference to it. So it changes on pressure. Now on I'll just use the V6. I'll use the V6 data. But notice how the flow rate stays constant because it's a return setup. So that's a big thing. Normally I just copy over, if I take whatever the injectors are out of, I try to copy them. Some of the early stuff is 21 pound and some of the newer stuff is 25 pounds. So you have to compare. And then if you get a flex fuel engine, it varies. And that's a whole other problem. But you want to match it. If you're going to run the flex fuel sensor and everything and run the flex fuel injectors, great. Because they're like a 38 pound injector. So if you do a bunch of mods to your V8, at least you have more injector. Because normally the stock injectors are about maxed out on a stock engine. There's some other stuff I do. I get rid of torque management. There's some other stuff I do. But that's the basics of getting it going. Then you just want to make sure everything's right. Drive it. Make sure it don't have a check engine light. Figure out why you have a check engine light. If it's something that you deleted or it's something that is critical. But other than that, that's usually the basic tuning-wise changes to get it going and get everything to work right.